What's going on YouTube? Q back here again with another video for you. In today's video, I'm here with the 2024 Alfa Romeo Tonale. Huge shout out to Stellantis for loaning me this for the week. So the Tonale is the twins with the Dodge Hornet. This one is built in Italy and it has Italian roots to it, and it behaves as an Italian vehicle as well, but we're going to get into that in just a moment here. This Tonale is the mid-tier trim, and you can tell it's an Italian vehicle or an Alfa Romeo by its unmistakable design language. You can tell by the wheels as well. Look at these circular wheels down there. That's something that you can see. You can get these in 20-inch wheels if you step up to a higher model, or if you want to pay a couple grand for that. But this is a mid-trim plug-in hybrid as well. As you can see right here, we got two gas caps on here, but this is the one that you plug in. So this is an amazing powertrain, I'll tell you that. So, and also I noticed a little Easter egg in here. We got the Alfa Romeo badge hidden on the C-pillar back here, or near the C-pillar. It's got the electrical charge on it. Instead of the serpent with the tongue, it's got a lightning bolt coming out. That's cool right there. Coming around to the back, we got some tail lights that look similar to the headlights. Nice design language to it. I love when the car turns off and on. Has a little fading away effect going on to it. Way down low, we got something that looks like exhaust exit, but it's not. The exhaust is going to be on the right side, way up under here. And on the right side, you see another gas cap on here. So this is where you put your fuel in, but you got to press a button to release the cap. I was struggling at the gas pump the other day, and this thing is a fuel miser. And notice on here, we got the Italian flag on here, the red, white, and green. And then this denotes our mid-tier. So we got a Sprint and we got a Veloce. And this is the TI. I don't know how it's pronounced. I got to work on my Italian. But this is the mid-tier trim. And these headlights are definitely Alfa Romeo. Goes back to the throwback. These headlights are always designed like this, and you cannot mistake that. And this front air opening in here, we're opening to the radiator, looks like a shield. That is unmistakably Alfa Romeo. So we're about to jump into a review on this 2024, new to the market, never before seen. So sit back, hang tight, and don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, hit the bell, browse the channel. Let's jump into it. I gotta give a shout out to the MOC, got Blueprint 1LE, 100 Gang Nate, Race Car Friends. Go check out their channels on the feature section of mine. Let's talk pricing. So the base price on this is $44,995. And this is painted in Rosso Red, which is going to be $500. Then we're going to add the Active Assist Advanced package, which is going to give us auto dimming rear exterior mirrors, active drive assist systems, and the surround view camera. That's going to set us back $2,000. And then they're going to hit us with the destination charge to ship it from Italy, and that's going to be $1,595, bringing our total price to $49,090. So what's going to set this apart from its competitors? Because we're in the very crowded segment of the compact SUVs, and this one is a compact luxury SUV with a sporting nature to it. So it is very competitive, very crowded. Let's pop the hood and let's see what we're working with as a powertrain. So we got a more complex engine up in here. So this is going to be a 1.3 liter turbocharged 4-cylinder, and you see the orange over there. That's going to denote that we got some hybridization up in here. So this is a plug-in hybrid, so you can charge it, and if that charge runs out, you can also drive it as a regular hybrid, kind of like a Prius. But this ain't no Prius, because this is a very sporty vehicle as well. And all of these Tonales come with all-wheel drive, from the poverty spec up to the top loaded model. And this powertrain is going to be mated to a 6-speed automatic transmission, and the battery is going to be a 15.5 kilowatt lithium ion. So our total power output is going to be 285 horsepower with a whopping 347 pound-feet of torque. And then that range is going to take you, well, Alfa advertised 30 miles on the charge. I was able to get 37 miles on my charge, so that exceeds what their estimations are. And the electric motor is going to drive the rear wheels, going to add 121 horsepower to it as well. And it'll do 0 to 60 in about 6 seconds. And this might be a small package, but it's going to weigh 4,133 pounds. For my first 30 miles, I was able to average 57 miles per gallon. And that was stellar to me until I ran out of a charge. After I ran out of electricity, I was still able to average 30 miles per gallon, which is still excellent. So keep this thing charged. And I did run into some problems with public charging stations, which suck. So if you got one of these, I highly recommend you get one of these at home. A great feature that I like about the Tonale is it'll show you once you exit the vehicle how long it'll take to charge. Let me show you. So upon exiting the vehicle, it'll show you your estimated time to 100%. Level 1, 10 hours, 19 minutes. Level 2, 2 hours and 18 minutes. So if you go to the movies and they got chargers there, you can watch a movie and come out 100% charged if they got a level 2 chargers. That's the key. But level 2 chargers are quite common nowadays. So since this is a compact SUV, let's talk about the practicality of it. So let's open the trunk. And it has a nifty feature if you're carrying groceries like me. One trip, Mr. One Trip, all in once. You can kick your foot up under here and it'll open the lift gate. There we have it. And for the size of the vehicle, the cargo area is quite spacious in here. It's much larger than I thought it would be. But let's move to the rear. I see we got some incandescent bulbs in here. Ew. But let's go to the back seat. You can also lock the trunk from up there. Automatically closes down, which is a nice touch to it. Entering the rear seat. Let's see how practical it is. Sitting behind myself, what do we got? Uh-oh. Foot stuck. All right, the headroom is ample back here. Got like 6 inches of headroom above me. Knees touch the front seats. I'm 6 feet tall, so not the most roomy. It's not a whole lot going on back here. We do have LED lights in the ceiling. In the middle, we're gonna have a couple cup holders. Kids have been riding here. It's been fine to haul a family around. If you have smaller kids, you have a couple vents back here. You can adjust how high you want the air to blow out of here. We do have USB-A and USB-C. The front seat, haven't seen a keyhole in a minute, but you want to lock the door, press the button, unlock the door, put your hand up under here, and it unlocks for you. And this is a more Spartan one. This one has cloth seats. You can opt for leather and a whole lot more features, but this one has tan stitching in here. Still got Alfa Romeo embossed in the seats. And these seats are quite nice. They aren't the most bolstered, but this material is, it's kind of like a, I don't know, some kind of Kevlar. I don't know. It's nice to see the design in it. I love the design of these seats. I haven't seen anything like that before. Sitting down in here, gotta duck my head a little bit. I don't know, maybe I grew a little bit over the days. But front seat, very comfortable for the driver. This is a sporting intention vehicle. You'll see it in the drive part. Up front, it is strictly business. Got some nice features to it as well. The steering wheel is lovely to the touch. It's perforated. I do think the angle is awkward because you can tell I got a lot of room up under the steering wheel. This is the lowest that it can go and the furthest that it can pull out. And if you want memory seats, you got to step up to the highest trim, the Veloce. And these windows are one touch down, all 4 of them, but it's different in here. So let me explain. So these windows, all 4 are automatic touch and they go down, but it doesn't have, like, you know, on some vehicles where you can feel it, you can like click and double click. On here, you just hold it and it goes up and down. Now, I do find that a little bit cumbersome if you want to just let it down a little bit, like it's going to go. You kind of got to like double click it to stop it. So I don't know. That's something I didn't like about it. Looking at these vents, look like a crosshair. That's cool, especially from what Dodge's logo used to look like, a crosshair. So they're all under the same umbrella now, Stellantis. And we do have a nice dash in here. This metallic material looks fantastic. We do have the black with this orangish stitching, tannish. It looks really nice to the touch. All the materials in here feel quite well, especially the leather on the steering wheel and the arm supports here. And we do have a little bit of space in the middle. There are no chargers in here. This will go about past my wrist and into the middle of my forearm. You have a wireless charger. This does have customizable ambient lighting, which looks fantastic at nighttime. And what's this? Do we have a cigarette lighter here? No, it's just our 12-volt outlet. I thought this was a cigarette lighter. Haven't seen one of these in decades. We also have a USB-A and USB-C charging port down there as well. We have a 10.25 infotainment screen and a 12.3-inch infotainment cluster up here, which looks fantastic. And the startup animation on here is pretty cool. and the exit animation. So that's really nice. It'll tell you about the mileage that you have went, and I mentioned earlier. So one thing I did notice about the rear view camera, like the frame rate is kind of low, because it's choppy once you move. It's not going to show up on the camera now because opposing frame rates of the screen and the camera, but it's a little bit choppy. And I do like that this has a forward camera as well, so that's going to be a part of that package. The surround view camera, you can also change this to the front view. So, and it'll come in automatically. Like if you're pulling up into the garage, don't want to run into the wall, this will turn the camera on so you can see what you're doing. So that's a great feature to have. With Apple CarPlay on here, they kind of fit it inside the infotainment screen. I do wish it were a little bit bigger in here, because you got widgets at the top, quick controls up there, and then we have the native infotainment screen options here. Like if you want to change vehicle options, that is there as well. We do have a shifter in here. Park reverse, neutral drive. We can slap it if we want to do some manual shifting ourselves. Move it forward, move it backwards. So on the side of the gear selector, we have this volume control, emergency brake. We do have you can turn our park sensors off. This will be the button to press if you want to do your automatic parking for you. And you can do an e-save mode, which is kind of like an economy mode. Got physical buttons for the HVAC controls. You can also get to those in this comfort menu, where you'll also get a heated steering wheel and heated seats. These seats get roasty. And this cluster is highly customizable as well. Got some awesome graphics on here. So we can change it from, you just press this menu button down here, and we can change it from navigation. We can put it on our performance. And we got our drive assist menu, many different options in here. And also we can change what's on the side too, because you notice when there was a map on there, it takes up the whole screen. But this screen is also customizable as well. The only thing is you have to have the vehicle in gear to use. I don't like that, so what you would do is press this menu button not once but twice, and then you can go over here to customize that. PSI in the tires, efficiency. You can have a huge map on there. You can even change the type of RPM gauge over there. You can make it a simplistic one, and that's all customizable through the infotainment screen as well. Actually, I lied. If you press the brake, you can customize it. Once you let go of the brake, it'll tell you to put the vehicle in gear. I don't like that. And as well as the toggle menus that I was just controlling that screen with, the skip tracks as well, they do the same job. So once you click this menu button, it'll go to the screen behind it. But if that times out in about 5 seconds, you'll be skipping your tracks. Now, I don't want to turn it off Drew Hill. I want to listen to Drew Hill. So that's something you have to be mindful of. It's not a dedicated skip track button, which could be found behind the steering wheel on other Stellantis models, but it's all used at the same time. We got our volume knobs here, voice controls, and all of our cruise control settings. One thing I have noticed, we've been in super cold, like single degree digits, and rain and snow. These windows keep fogging up on me. I don't know if it's me or just the environment and humidity outside, but this happened a lot. Now that we're done with some stats and the features, let's spin a few blocks. It's a gloomy and dreary day out here today, but we're about to drive the Alfa Romeo Tonale, and I'm conveniently at the mall, parked next to a Hornet. So these are twins, so they're both one and the same. This is the Dodge version, this is the Alfa version, but mine is a hybrid, so a little bit different, but they both look identical. Two nicely styled vehicles. So let's jump behind the driver's seat, take it for a spin. And I forward to lock the door. I press the button right there, and to enter, you see the Italian flag right there. Behind, open up to my mostly quiet Alfa Romeo. So push button start is on the steering wheel, foot on the brake. The vehicle is ready to drive. So let us buckle up. So I've been driving this all week long, and it's been a pleasure to drive. So this hybrid powertrain is really nice. So plug-in hybrid. So it lasted about maybe 40-ish miles on electric only. Unfortunately, I don't have a charger at home, so I can charge this so I can get my 40. Like I would barely have to get any gas. I just filled up. So 200 miles later, after I ran out of EV mode, which was about 40 miles, I've been averaging 30 miles to the gallon, which is nice for this. So this is probably like your compact size SUV. The last SUV I had averaged like 22 miles a gallon, which was a Ford Escape. Let's take it for a spin. So Unfortunately, I'm not going to be able to use the A mode. So it has the 3 modes, DNA. Let me interrupt this video review to explain this DNA mode. So A is the advanced efficiency mode, which will be driven purely electric. We're going to have N, which is natural. That's going to be a balance of electric and performance. And then we're going to have D, which stands for dual power. So we're going to get the electric motors along with the 1.3 liter turbocharged engine so we can get the most performance out of it. And if you ever forget, you can go to the vehicle settings, My Car, and it'll explain these drive modes for you in this drive mode explorer menu. So we got D. It'll tell you what everything's set to. We got our torque limiter, gas pedal, shifting, regenerative braking, and steering all in sport mode. So each mode will explain a different thing in the menu. So just in case you forget, that's helpful. So we can do N and D, but not A because we ran out of EV power. But it's no big deal because that's the point of being a plug-in hybrid. You can use the electricity when you have it, but if not, it's going to double as a hybrid, which is super efficient. So actually, let me turn these heated seats off because these seats get really hot. And they turn on when you turn on the vehicle, even with automatic start. So you can come into a toasty steering wheel and heated seats, which is lovely. But these things get roasty. But some vehicles I've been in, level 1 has been too much. Level 1 on here is just fine, so I can keep it on. So the noise isolation is pretty good in here. The dampening is pretty good as well. So with the last Italian vehicle I had, the Maserati Grecale, that had a very rough suspension. This, not so much more pleasant, but it still has the nice driving characteristics of it, so it can handle as well. Pretty car-like. Splash through these puddles and hit this corner here. Sporty. Driving over snow. So all-wheel drive did come in handy because I was able to drive this in the snow as we're on all seasons. And the rear did swing out a little bit, so that's pretty cool. We got a lot of torque going to the rear wheels. I like that. I'm not a huge fan of most of the torque being in the front wheels on all-wheel drive vehicles. Like the rear-wheel drive driving dynamics are much better to me, so I prefer having my torque in the rear. And the family, they loved it, enjoyed it. But as the driver, visibility is great. The seats are comfortable, and this, what is this, like denim in the middle? Looks quite nice. Different style, like it's pretty Spartan in here. We do have like this tan stitching going across everywhere. Nice touch material. Steering wheel very soft. Some soft touch leather on the armrest. Very nice. I do like the way that they designed this stylistically. We got like this target right here. And this material on the dash looks metallic. That's where the ambient lighting is going to be right there as well. So you, boom, go airborne almost. So let's crank it up to D, which I haven't driven in a whole lot. So that's going to give you a firmer steering, suspension, and steering feel power, just more aggressive. And I did notice once you ease off the accelerator, the car tends to slow down like an EV would. Just an observation. This car will take off too. Haven't had a chance to really get on it like that because it's been crappy weather, like snowstorms, ice, and today it's just rain. So unfortunately, this is the only time I get to get out on the road and drive it. And let's see how it's going to be. It takes on up out of those corners. So it's a noticeable amount of power going from the D mode to N mode. Let me switch it back down till we get to another exciting driving part. But in the comfort mode, the steering is quite light, very light. The brake feel is progressive. Nothing to write home about. Not bad either. Their brakes, they work really well. And the steering wheel, I'm not a huge fan of the position. Like this is the lowest that it goes. I'm used to I got like 3 inches from my knee to the steering wheel. I'm used to being able, like my thigh being able to hit the steering wheel. So this is as far down as it goes. It goes up at like an awkward angle, like you're driving a bus or something. That's a weird angle to me. And this is pulled all the way out, so it goes all the way in. Like the steering wheel can have better position. So we're driving in the hybrid mode now. But when I had a charge on here, it was dead silent at takeoff. And I really liked how quiet it was. power was ample. So this is exactly what a vehicle should be. As a daily commuter, plug-in hybrids, this is the direction I think manufacturers can go in. If you do have a charger, great. You got 30, 40 miles on the charge. That can get you to most of your destinations on the day-to-day route for most people. And that was just perfect. And then once you run out of that, because I went from averaging like over 50 miles a gallon, and it dropped down to 30. So you're going to want to keep this charged if you do have it. We're about to be coming upon some rough pavement up here. So as the pilot would say, some rough air with turbulence. Man, dang, whoa, how's this a road? So this handled that as well. Get from around this bus. The road's jacked up. But it does a pretty good job soaking up the bumps. These are more like craters. Good God. So I thought the ride in here was going to be a lot rougher, since this is Italian and they're cousins to Maserati. That collar was really rough, but this is a much more supple ride, but it's more sporty. And I hate to compare this to a Pontiac, but Alfa Romeo reminds me of the Pontiac of what GM is. Like, the Cadillac is the luxury. The Pontiac was sporty and made great designs as well. So this was that is to me. The turn signals on here, they're the ones that return to center. Some people think it's awkward, but once you drive with it for a while, you get used to it. The steering wheel is way too light. I do wish there were a little bit more heft, but we're not in sport mode, so there's room for that improvement. Like I was saying, the turn signals, flick it. If you want to be like, I don't want to do it, you can't flick it in the same direction to cancel. You got to flick it in the opposite direction. Dang, but not that hard though. Softly flick it in the opposite direction. That takes some getting used to. All right, let me crank it up to sport mode since we didn't got over those rough pavements. Steering. Now this is where the steering wheel tightens up to where I would like it. I wish you can do a customizable one where you can like change the steering feel, change the throttle response, but you just got all or none on here. So you're in sport mode, everything, or you're in comfort mode, everything. And it is very noticeable letting off the gas. Like, you'll feel the car slow down. Like, let me accelerate, and let me lift off the gas. It's kind of like the EV braking, 1 foot driving. That's interesting. I didn't notice it in N mode. You can get a little bit rowdy up in here too. You can take D mode to the extreme. Oh, so what you want to do is twist the driving mode selector to the right, and it'll turn ESC off and traction control off. So if you really want to take off, that's what you use. But we're not about to, we're not about to do that today because it is raining out. We want to be as safe as we possibly can. So we're just gonna put it back in D. I think that is cool though. Most SUVs don't really have something like that. But this is a sporty intention SUV. I do wish the seats were a little bit more bolstered for the sporting nature of this vehicle, but it's just fine for most of the drivers that are going to be in here, which isn't going to be the sports car drivers. Like, these seats are quite fine. Let's see how we're going to corner while in sport mode. It handles beautifully, especially to be sitting on stilts like this. I really appreciate the handling of this. A little bit of a curve being in one of these Italian vehicles. It's like that 1 foot driving. That's something different, not used to that. But the sporting nature here is really good. Kind of Mazda-esque to me. Like, they focus on driving dynamics, which a lot of automakers don't care about these days, but it's very much welcome to me. Alright, about to get ready to enter the highway, see what it's going to be like. We do have some get up. It's quite surprising to me. You do not notice that in the regular drive mode. Do not feel that engine and power kick in. Well, that's why I like hybrids. They're efficient and powerful. So, best of both worlds. They are more complex, but I do welcome the efficiency of it and the power, more importantly. Getting up to speed. A breeze in here. I just mentioned we got the power. See what the passing power is like. Get up, this little 1.3 cylinder engine is getting up there as people try to get over without a turn signal. Tonale does have the latest safety features and cruise control, like lane keep assist, adaptive cruise control, so that's going to be welcome. You can drive, just let the car do its thing. You got to be paying attention though, keep your hands on the steering wheel. It's not the greatest system that I have tested. It does do like little micro movements from time to time, but it's still quite good. It'll get you to where you need to go. Keep you inside the lines most importantly, but I'm not going to use it out here today as it is not the best visibility wise, so I'm going to be handling this myself as I should when the weather gets inclement. This rearview mirror is quite tiny. You can't see a whole lot behind you because you're like got 3 headrests blocking it. Even the small one that's shorter, it still intrudes on your view as we come upon traffic. System is pretty good in here. I do wish it did have a little bit more fidelity in the mid-range, but the treble is good and the bass is quite nice. Overall, the Tonale has been a really pleasurable experience. So now my wife, she actually loved it as well, so this could possibly be another vehicle that we do end up adding in the near future. So that's going to wrap up the driving portion of the video. That about sums up the 2024 Alfa Romeo Tonale. So hope you all enjoyed this review. If you got any questions, drop a comment, let me know. And huge shout out to Alfa Romeo for loaning me this for the week. Definitely appreciate that. Had a great time with it. Family enjoyed it. Kids loved it. Wife is thinking about getting one of these now. So that says a lot because she's not impressed by a lot of cars, but she did fall in love with this one. So overall, this car has a ton of features. The powertrain is excellent. The power is excellent. The space in the back seat is a little bit tight, but the efficiency, the price is $50,000. That's going to be where its competitors are as well, like a BMW X1, Mercedes GLA. So I'm shocked a vehicle with this mass is able to handle. Like, they know how to do some tuning on that suspension. So if you're looking for an alternative for the other ho-hum sporty SUVs, compact size, this is a great alternative to those. Actually, it might be a leader too with that powertrain. The plug-in hybrid, that is the way to go. With all-wheel drive, man, this thing is so efficient when you got that electric charge to it. So I would highly recommend one of these. That's all I'm going to have for you all today. As always, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, hit that bell, browse the channel, and I'll see you in the next video. Peace out.